What is ADHD? ADHD isn't just about being fidgety, forgetful, or easily distracted. It's not bad parenting, and it's not something you just grow out of. ADHD is real. It's a neurological condition that affects how the brain manages focus, motivation, memory, and emotion. For many people, understanding how ADHD actually works can be life-changing. ADHD stands for Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, but the name can be misleading. Most people with ADHD don't have a deficit of attention. They often have too much attention, just not where they want it. It's a neurodevelopmental condition, which means the brain is wired a little differently, particularly in the areas responsible for executive function. That includes planning, starting and finishing tasks, prioritizing, regulating emotions, and managing time. ADHD affects people of all ages. It's not just a boy thing or a childhood thing. In fact, more adults are getting diagnosed now than ever before, often after years of wondering why life feels slightly harder than it should. According to the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, ADHD can present in 3 ways: inattentive, hyperactive, impulsive, and combined. Here's what that actually means in real life. Inattentive type. This often gets missed, especially in girls, women, and quieter kids. It's not about bouncing off the walls. It's more like losing track of conversations, constantly misplacing things, forgetting appointments, even the ones you care about, and feeling like your brain's always on low battery. An example of this is you sit down to reply to an email. Then somehow you end up reorganizing your entire desktop. 2 hours later, that email is still unsent. Hyperactive or impulsive type. This is the most visible type. It's more common in younger boys and what people often think of when they hear ADHD. It's fidgeting, tapping, and needing to move, interrupting or blurting things out, acting quickly without thinking things through. An example of this is you're in the meeting or a classroom and you know you should wait your turn, but the words just fly out of your mouth anyway. And the combined type. This is the most common type in adults. It includes symptoms from both categories. So you might be restless and forgetful, talkative and zoned out, both overstimulated and underfocused, depending on the moment. None of these types are worse than the others. They're just different patterns. And ADHD can look very different from person to person. So let's keep this simple. In ADHD, key areas of the brain, including the prefrontal cortex and the basal ganglia, don't regulate things like attention, motivation, and reward in the same way as a neurotypical brain. The dopamine system plays a big role too. Dopamine is one of the brain's feel-good chemicals, but it also affects drive, interest, and ability to stay on task. In ADHD, the brain's dopamine response is often lower or more inconsistent. That's why boring tasks can feel literally painful to start, and exciting tasks can take over completely. In fact, many people with ADHD have 100 ideas. They'll start multiple projects. They'll feel constantly driven to do things, but they might struggle to finish tasks. They might struggle to switch off, or even know where to begin because the brain's reward system isn't firing in the usual way. This can make simple things feel overwhelming or strangely impossible to complete. It's not about effort. It's about how the brain handles motivation, urgency, and follow-through. And that difference can affect everyday life. Living with ADHD can feel like having 1,000 browser tabs open. One of them's playing music, but you can't find it. You're knowing exactly what you need to do, but somehow you're not doing it. Being told to try harder your whole life when you've been trying nonstop. Some days, ADHD feels like a superpower. You're creative, driven, and full of energy and insight, where other days it feels like chaos, shutdown, or blank. And the truth is, both of these experiences are valid because ADHD is complex. Understanding it helps you stop blaming yourself and start working with your brain and not against it. It opens the door to realistic strategies and support and self-respect. If this video made you feel seen or helped you understand someone else better, you're exactly who this series is for. There's so much more to say about ADHD, from emotional regulation and executive dysfunction to masking, burnout, and how it shows up in women. So if you're curious, hit subscribe and keep watching. I'll be posting more Explained Simply videos on ADHD, brain fog, neurodivergence, and what actually helps. Let's make sense of how our brains work together. This is explained simply by Neuro Massage because recovery, wellness, and care should be accessible to everybody.